Hi everyone. We're just 7:30 now, so I'll give it a couple of minutes and let those that are just getting the notification to join us. There, I have someone. It's Sheila. Welcome, Sheila. I'm the 4th tutorial this month. We have one more bonus tutorial still to come with our guest designer. Usually I'm the last one, but I'm second to last this time. I decided to do some scrapbooking with you guys. I had originally wanted to do some cards, and I did do the cards as well. So I'll share those with you at the end, towards the end. But we're doing scrapbooking because after I had noticed what the other designers in our group were sharing with you, I couldn't go a month without doing scrapbooking with this bundle because it screams scrapbooking to me. Hello, Amber. Hello, Shauna. Welcome. So scrapbooking can be scary for a lot of people. I have a hard time convincing people sometimes that Stampin' Up is for scrapbooking. We primarily focus on cards. You'll notice even as you go through the annual catalog, and if you've already been lucky enough to receive the holiday catalog, that we have a number of products that are for cards. But don't discount the scrapbooking. Memories and More came in a few years ago, and now we call that, you started as Project Life. Now we call that Memories and More. So that's the pocketed page. That's the easy segue from card making to scrapbooking, but I love all of it. I love the pocketed memory keeping. I love making cards, and I love scrapbooking, the traditional 12 by 12. When I first started crafting, I started making cards. Hello, Monica. Hi, Brent. Hi, Shelly. I started making cards because I was getting married and I wanted to make wedding invitations. And then scrapbooking came quickly after because I had a wedding that I wanted to scrapbook, and I wish I had more time to scrapbook. I feel like people get caught up on scrapbooking, that it is too big of a hill to climb. You have a million pictures on your phone or on your computer and you don't know where to start. So I say just pick one picture and make a layout around it. So hopefully this will inspire you today to do a masculine scrapbook page if you're using the designer series paper from the Sailing Home suite. And you'll see that my layout is very masculine. We happen to be on a cruise, which is where my pictures are from. That was last August with Stampin' Up. We went away on the incentive trip. You could do this for a little boy or a little girl. Nautical could definitely be for little infants in your life too. Or little boys, or a husband that loves to fish or sail or be outdoorsy. So hello, Jennifer. I think I've rambled on long enough now. We have 8 people that have joined us. So I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of talk to you a little bit more about the scrapbooking. Thank you, Monica. She said she's excited to see my layout today. So yeah, here. When we posted, as I get set up, bear with me. When we posted our blog hop, one picture, yeah, just start with one picture. Thank you, Wendy. When we did our blog hop, I had someone out there, and I hope you are on this video at some point. This was the page, and my phone, see, I like my phone down nice and close when I do cards, but then I really struggle to get it in my screenshot. So my husband built my stand. It's not adjustable, but so I'm rambling. Oh my goodness, focus, Krista. So back to the blog hop. Someone had commented that they would love to see the pair of this page. So it was a double layout. This is my blog hop project. So I set out to create this page, which is the complimentary page. I don't know if you can see them both in the shot, kind of, sort of. So this was the blog hop, and this is what I want to show you today. I chose one image. There are the old-fashioned scrapbookers. Oh my goodness, I think back 30 years ago, and we used to cut our pictures round or rectangle or square, and you would put 4 to 6 pictures on a layout. I have found the trend lately is one photograph, and if you don't like that, that's totally fine, but this is what I'm finding is on trend. So using a focal photograph and then really making the scrapbook more about art. And that is where Stampin' Up comes in, because we are all about the art. So I think Stampin' Up is perfect for scrapbooking in that sense. I'm going to just start going through the process of making this, and then I'll talk to you a lot about scrapbooking and my whys and hows, etc. So Stampin' Up does sell 12 by 12 paper. It gets lost a little bit in the catalog. This piece here is crumb cake 12 by 12. You can't buy that individually. Years ago, we sold a full pack of crumb cake in 12 by 12. Now we sell them in color collections, so you get a couple of each of the sheets in the color collections. So this comes from the neutrals. The good news is you still can buy Whisper White or Very Vanilla 12 by 12. Why did Stampin' Up make that decision? Well, everything that Stampin' Up makes decision has to do with sales, because money makes the world go round. So as demonstrators or customers, if we're not consuming items like 12 by 12 in full packs of crumb cake, then it doesn't make good business sense to offer that. The good news, like I said, is that it is available in a color variety. So you buy the neutrals, you get a couple of each of the sheets. Well, white 12 by 12 is the full pack, and I think you get a dozen or so in that package, which is amazing. And white scrapbook pages are all the rage. There's many scrapbookers out there, I'm sure, that will argue, and they're not on the white trend, but I seem to think 8 out of 10 projects I'm pinning on Pinterest that are scrapbook pages have a Whisper White background. So I wanted to add a little bit of color, and I decided to take a 12 by 12 sheet of crumb cake and a 12 by 12 sheet of Whisper White. So the first thing I did is I cut 3/4 of an inch off so that I created a little mat for myself. So I'm just coming and I'm cutting 3/4 of an inch off. I'm going on a whim because I think it was 3/4 of an inch. I guess I should have double checked that. I was eyeballing it as we've been talking. I made these the other day. Maybe this is too much, but that's okay. It'll just be a different look. Do you save your scraps like this? I do. I get right down to the nitty gritty of a piece before I toss it. So even as we're doing these tonight, when we have pieces that are being stamped and punched and cut, oh, that's too big. You guys want to know something funny? It's like I got bigger every time. So when I did this sample, I did a smaller edge. Then when I did this sample, I got bigger, and now look at this one, it's even bigger. Oh my gracious. Well, now you just get to see it in a variety. This just adds more crumb cake, which doesn't bother me at all. I would not recommend adhesiving this to your crumb cake yet. Let's do some background stamping and background technique, because if we make a mistake, we can always use the other side of the cardstock or get a new piece of 12 by 12. So the very last step that we do will be mounting it all onto our crumb cake 12 by 12. So we're just gonna put that off to the side for now. You'll notice that in the layout, there is some simple birds that are just stamped across here, and I wanted to add some texture and color. I love texture on my cards, so I splatter ink or I use embossing folders a lot. It's very difficult to do an embossing folder on a piece of 12 by 12 because it doesn't fit inside our Big Shot. So one of the cool ways to add color is by dragging the ink pad right across your cardstock. So I have chosen Balmy Blue. Again, I'm sticking with the color palette that has come from the Sail Away Designer Series paper. And these are the new ink pads. So the more juicy it is, the lighter your hand needs to be. If you have used it generously in the past and it's dry, you might need to use a heavier hand or re-ink. So I use it, I gotta show you, I'm coming at an angle like this. So this is my paper, I'm coming at an angle and I'm gonna drag. So I'm not coming flat and I'm not coming straight up, I'm coming at like a 30-degree angle. And I'm just gonna set it down and I'm gonna drag it. And I can tell already, because I did a bunch of cards, this technique that I do need to re-ink. Maybe I'll use my other side, because that side will be, yeah, there we go. So there we go. This is where my picture is, so this doesn't bother me, but I did want to see a little bit more of that blue in there. So imagine this is where my photograph is gonna go. This is where I have that wavy, wispy blue. And I definitely need to re-ink this now, because as I've been doing this technique, I can tell that it's drying out. And if you are a demonstrator and you're showing this technique in an event, you'll need to keep your re-inker handy because you will go through more ink with this direct to paper technique. So it doesn't look like much, but this is what our goal is. This is where we're headed to. Okay, so since we have this, we're going to steal 3 pieces of designer series paper from our pack. And that's why we love buying our designer series paper at Stampin' Up, because it all matches. If you've ever tried to go to a big box store or a craft store and buy designer paper, you're never going to get the colors that match. Ever, ever, ever. It's a pain in the hiney. Okay, so I am looking, this is 4 inches and probably by 7. They just happen to be scraps that I had. This one looks like it's 4 by 6, and I know this one is 4 by 4 because I had it left over from another card that I created. So I have one of these pieces here. I'm down to the bare minimum on my scraps here because I love this paper so much. Like, this is all I have left. Just a few in my little bag. Ooh, do you like my storage tip? Look, okay. So I get one of these page protectors. They're just the page protectors from Staples. And I put on Word in the computer. I make these columns and I put the name of the DSP and the colors. And then I do the circle punch and I put them on there. Tell me you don't love that. And then I put all my little scraps in there. Monica says she hasn't done that technique in a long time. I know it's an oldie but a goodie. It's sometimes nice to get those old techniques out. Yeah, I'm like desperate for designer series paper. I'm gonna have to use the ugly one, and I know that you guys are gonna laugh at me when I say that. We've had these videos. Oh no, someone did a video. Who was doing the video? One of my other demonstrator friends here, was it Cindy, was doing a video, and I called it the ugly paper. I hate this paper, but we're gonna make it pretty. And then I'm gonna cut one of these down. So let's just do a little bit of cutting here, bringing back in the paper trimmer. Okay, so this one I'm gonna do, I think this one I'm gonna do 4 1/4. You want them to be different sizes. That looks good. 4 1/4 by 7. Let's do this one at 4 1/4 by 6. And then I wanna do one that is, we're gonna do the ugly one in a 4 by 4. And I'm gonna prove myself that I can make something pretty out of something ugly. Listen, I'm a demonstrator. I don't have to love it all. I'm pretty biased. I love Stampin' Up more than almost anyone I know, present company excluded, but I'm allowed to think something isn't the greatest. So I'm going for a totally different look. This is very blue, very nautical. I did stick with the blue in the back. I guess I could have chose a different color, but I'm just gonna make these messy. So I have, this is a little bit larger. This is a little bit fatter. And then I have my ugly one. I'm gonna go with these ones. And then I'm just gonna bring this one in here like that. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Do I want that one or that one? Oh no, we're gonna stick with this one. Okay, so messy, right? I just wanna see the layers peekabooing. You can leave it till the end when you assemble. I would recommend when you're scrapbooking to use snail adhesive sparingly or not at all. So some people will lay out their whole layout and then adhesive it all. I'm pretty happy because I'm casing now my own work. But as I do it, I would never adhesive anything down until the very, very end. Don't use fast fuse if you have any of that in your collection, and don't use liquid glue because those are, or tear and tape adhesive also, because those are commitment. And you need to be commitment phobic when you're doing scrapbooking because you want to make sure that you're, you have that get out of jail free card. So if you need to lift it up and peel something off, then you have that ability. Oh, I'm gonna put this one down. Okay, and then I want this guy to come in here. Trying to figure out which way I want it to go. There we go, I like that. Now I'm gonna take all of this and put it down. So really awesome mat. I'm coming further over. The other one's a little bit more centered, but I want to see more of this blue. So, hello, Lindsay. How crooked do I want to be? There we go. Okay. And usually I'd burnish it and really push it down if it was a card, but because I'm scrapbooking and I really don't want that commitment, in case something comes up I want to change or alter, I've just gently sat it down there. Now, grabbing my DSP another time, I have a little piece here that is oh, Josh is watching too. Hello, Josh. So this is a little piece back there. I'm trying to find another scrap that I have a point on it. And I love doing that point with this designer series paper. So I'm gonna show you why. So I'm just gonna come and I'm gonna cut it, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. We're just winging it here. So I'm gonna come to 2 inches. I can see on my paper cutter that I want it to be 2 inches. I'm gonna cut this down. We're gonna go 3 by 2. 3 by 2, nope, 3 by 2.5, I'm lying. 3 by 2.5. So now we have this little rectangle. And I need my scissors. So I was saying that I love doing it on this striped paper because I can eyeball where the middle is, and then I can come and I'm gonna snip up to my first white line, and then I'm gonna come from my white line back to that snip. So that's gonna give me that point. This reminds me of like a military badge or something you would see on their crest. Every time I try that technique, I end up with more ink on me than the paper. Oh yeah, occupational hazard, I can understand that. I'm gonna snail this down again because I'm happy with where it is. Oh, son of a beach ball. I just ran out of snail. Okay, we'll wing it. We're gonna figure it out here. So back to this. Now I wanna show you how I tied that in on my other page. So see, it's up here. And I really like to take an element from one layout and tie it into the other. So you notice we have a smaller one here, and then I have a larger one here. Speaking of tying things in, I used one of these embellishments. Don't ask me what they're called. And I did another little one over here. So they're matching, and see my designer series paper matches. Okay, so now we have this down, and I think I'm comfortable to do some of my bird stamping now using Smoky Slate. On the other page, the page that was on the blog hop, I actually did some of the compasses as well. Oh, you know what else I'm thinking is I was supposed to re-ink. Oh, I did re-ink this, I think. So turn your birds so they look like they're flocking and they're not just going in the same direction every time. There we go. Oh, I love the birds so much. They make me so happy. And then we need a little bit over here, just tying that in, bringing the eye across. Hello from Melbourne. Hello, hello Antoinette and Vicky. Welcome everyone. Okay, so now I've done that. Now back to the first page that was on the blog hop. You'll see I tied in those birds, so exactly the same, making that a layout that pairs. But then I also put these compasses behind, because on this page, my compass was my focus, because my husband is my compass. Get it? He'll kill me because he hates getting pictures taken of himself, and he didn't approve this layout or this photograph, so he'll kill me now that I've shown it to you, but he has no choice now. So just don't tell. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? Don't tell my children I said that. Okay, so now we've got those bits going. Let's grab some scrap paper and do some stamping. Oh my gracious. Gotta find a piece of scrap paper. Here's a scrap paper. Happens to be a pretty good piece. This is probably a layer from a card that got rejected. Oh, Val is my neighbor. Evening, morning from Canada. Yes, Val is one of my stamp customers and one of my demonstrator team. So we need to grab, when you're getting your stamps here, if you're mounting, the set sail and direction of your dreams and the compass. Those are what we're gonna stamp right now. So I already have mine mounted. The compass, I'm going to stamp. And now, set sail in the directions of my dreams. This is my lazy way of doing the multicolor on this stamp. Some people who have energy would use the markers. I am a self-professed lazy stamper. I talk about this all the time, so I'm trying to find the easy way to do things. So I'm gonna eyeball right across here. So from this way, north, I'm only gonna ink it in blue. And I'm eyeballing it. Tappity tap, tap, tap. And my ink pad's not very juicy anymore, so I'm probably gonna shoot myself in the foot here. It's working, friends. Patience. Okay. Now I shall do the opposite with my gray. give it a huff, and give it a stamp and a little prayer that I'm working. Yay! Set sail in the directions of your dreams. You guys want to know something? This, Cindy, in her video, when we were doing the Learn About This Suite video at the very beginning, we didn't have any projects. Cindy just sits down and talks to us about the insider view, about the artwork, how the stamp set came about, where the designer series paper came about, a little bit of history. This circle punch, it's actually written in the catalog what size a circle punch that is. I am a children, close your ears, earmuffs. I'm a self-professed punch slut. I own every punch. If there's a punch, I'm buying it. I don't care. I love a punch. I do not have the punch for this. Can you believe it? I know Val is watching. Val knows me and my punch sluttiness, and this is going to shock her. So I have to go and use my circle die to cut this. But that's okay. I'm a lazy stamper, so I'm smart enough to know I'm going to do this at the same time. That's why I stamped them on this piece of paper. So now I'm going to use this frame thing from whatever this is called, the sale dies. And I share this all the time. So if you're a new Krista video watcher, I use a repositionable Scotch tape. I know it's repositionable because it's blue. So back to school shopping right now, grab yourself some repositionable Scotch tape while you're doing all that for your kids, because then you can get it exactly where you want it and you can adhesive it down and it's not going to slide and jump like that magnet. Love you, Stampin' Up, but that magnet sometimes needs to go in the river because it'll jump and skip and I can't handle it. So I've adhesive those down. They're not going anywhere. Now I'm going to crank them through on the Big Shot and cut them out. I'm not going to bring the Big Shot in. You're just going to have to be patient. Here, you can look at the scrapbook page while I cut those out. Insert music here. Okay. So now you can just toss this little piece of paper. See, voila, we got that piece on the go. And voila, we have my compass. Oh, look, I did that in a different color, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. I think I might have done it in Night and Navy on that sample. But this is going to be just as pretty. Nobody's going to know what the sample looked like. Rule of thumb, right? Oh, where's my magic page? There we go. Okay, my compass and my greeting. Now we need to do a little bit more Big Shot work. This is, again, Lazy Krista. I want to do it as much in one crank as I possibly can. So here's my plate. And I'm going to start getting all my bits and pieces. So I need a wheel. So here is my wheel. Where's my tape? And I cut everything upside down because I heard somewhere it cuts better and it doesn't curve your plates. So I got my wheel. Now I need my Night and Navy, that little banner word thing, that flaggy banner thing. Oh, Jen has a comment. So happy to have a wrap page, and I'm a totally lazy stamper too. I know. I'll color though, which is crazy, but I blame that on Cindy because she came to Canada, or actually, you know what? That was when Cindy, Susan, and Jen all came to Canada, and they made me try blends, and now I color, which is crazy because I'm a lazy stamper, so you think I wouldn't have time for that. But, okay. So now my rope. See how I'm doing this? What am I missing? Oh, these little dudes. Oh, I can't find my die. You guys. Now what? Look, is it here somewhere and I don't see it? This is how I store my dies. I have this one, which is, I don't know, I don't like it. I like the other one. It's smaller. It's perfect. Oh, you guys, Now what? I'm devastated. I guess I have to buy a whole nother set. No, I'm kidding. I'll find it. Okay, but that's because this is so cute. I did one in Balmy Blue and one in Night and Navy. Oh my goodness. I don't know anything about nautical, but I think 2 are in there. For some reason, I think like one's north and one's true north, or one moves and one doesn't. Whatever, I liked it. So you're gonna have to imagine that gets done. Okay, one other thing that we need to do is, what color is this? $10 for whoever knows. Mossy Meadow? I think it's Mossy Meadow. And then we're gonna do our grass. I almost said the S word, bad word, the S-H-I word. Okay, so now I got them all upside down. See? It's on the bottom of your magnet plate. Is it? Oh, is it on the bottom? Oh, I don't use a magnet plate, Monica, because I hate it. So there, now I got these all laid out. I'm gonna cut it. Has to be somewhere. Good thing I didn't take the garbage out. Okay, here we go. And here's my rope. And I just did these layouts, so when did I do them? 2 nights ago on the weekend? So easy. I don't know if you put your dies face down. Oh, you didn't know that if you put your dies... Okay, so I swear it was in the last year when we started to have these issues with the dies. With the dies? No, with the plates curling. So we had a video from Stampin' Up that recommended to cut upside down. And since then, look at my plates. Look at that. I baked cookies on that sucker. It's so flat. It's perfect. Okay. And the seaweed. There, I got all my bits. Just missing my compass needles. Here we go. So now we just need to do some decorating. The first thing, let's take this guy and we're gonna cut it in half. Robinisthebomb.com. Well, now what did Robin say? Oh, Robin, it is thebomb.com. Well, Robin is thebomb.com, but doing your plates upside down also is thebomb.com. Okay, where were we? Now, this. I'm going to do a little bit of snail on each side. Oh, for the love of Texas. My snail is out, so I'm using Contraband Fast Fuse. Now, dude, north, east, southwest, never eat soggy Wheaties. Get it the right way, because it kind of makes it important when you have it saying that you're the true north and you're the love of my life. You don't want it to be pointing south. That would be like a bad omen. Okay, so now I got one on one side, and then I'm gonna eyeball it like that. Okay, did anybody else see that video that I'm talking about then? I know I didn't dream it. Val, I know you saw it, did you not? Val sees everything. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of the swirly, lacy look on the back. I don't know if lacy is the word, but I'm taking this twine and shredding it. Pulling out my strings that I want. Messing it up on the back. I got a little bit of snail left over there, or fast fuse. There we go. Oh my goodness, so wonderful. And dimensionals, and I'm frugal even with my dimensionals because I got to use those up. Please tell me you guys don't throw the edges of your dimensionals away. I'll come and haunt you in your dreams. Now, I have this little guy coming in here. Isn't it beautiful? You might want to put your picture in first, because now I realize I put a dimensional here. Oy, oy. I might have just created a headache for you. Oh, Val did see the video, so it does exist. So to me, there is a branchy piece of the seaweed and then a seaweedy seaweed. And this branchy piece can kind of look like a fern or something. And I thought it looked really cute coming outside of the compass, but we want to make 2 of them. So I'm going to cut it neatly in here, and then I'm going to use both of them. These are the old rubber scissors we had at Stampin' Up 100 years ago, but these pumpkins are the bee's knees. So these, you can kind of make it look like it. Oh, look at that. Perfect. You wouldn't even know. And a glue dot. which I affectionately often call snot dots. That was because I became a demonstrator when I had little babies and everything in my life related to snot. So there's one. And two. There we go. Oh, so cute. So cute. I will mail you mine. I'm OCD. My phone, it doesn't like the non-consistent shape. Are you talking about your plates, Jen? Inconsistent typos. I don't know. Now, I really wish I had those needles for this. Oh, girls, boys, look at this. I really want those needles. Now I got to find that die. But we talked about this before, tying in to this part. So I just put a little button over there. Thought it looks really cute. Now let's come up and do this top corner. So again, we've already done this and die cut it. Put some adhesive across the back and let's take that rest of that twine and make a messy nest. I like to call this a little brooch. I imagine I'm making like a granny brooch that goes on my project. Okay, dimensionals. Okay, now this little guy is going to come all the way across. Some people would use liquid glue. I am lazy. I'm going to use a glue dot. Liquid glue is a need to use situation. It is wonderful, no disrespect to the liquid glue. It ends up all over my fingers and I don't got time for that. So I take a glue dot and I kind of squish it in. Let's pick up all these little hairs and I'm gonna make this come right. And again, love creating with lines because then it's nice and straight and perfect. My wheel, again, you could use liquid glue, but I'm using a snot dot, a glue dot. So my wheel is coming on. And I'm gonna add another wheel, or you can add an anchor, but I really like the double wheel for whatever reason. Which is weird, because usually I get really hung up on scale, and these are not the same scale, but whatever works for me today. And I did a bow, but I used up all my twine, so I'll do a bow with this navy that was left over when I ripped apart that baker's twine. And I get a million questions on how I tie bows, and I've never, after all these years, figured out how to articulate how to tie a bow. I just do it. And some say I'm pretty good at bows. And people are bow challenged, and when they're in my classes, I just tie their bows for them because that's how much I love them. But I can't mail you bows today. You'll have to, if you're doing this scrapbook layout, you'll have to just figure it out. And then I want my tails to be the same. See, bragging, and look what that gets you. I have a contraband take your pick tool here. I had one before Stampin' Up started selling them, so I have an old one. Oh my God, it's a dog's breakfast. Get out of here. You're the queen of bows. Yeah, that bow just can take a walk in the park. That's what that bow can do. Okay. Oh, now let's put it onto our crumb cake that we already had going here. I kind of like how these colors are very different. So this is the work in progress. Let's go back and see what this one is like. Ta-da! With a nice bow and my needles on my compass. Okay, so what else? So we talk about tying the pages together, my double layout. I really don't know if I can get this to fit in here, kids. Son of a beach. Okay. So I really like tying things in. You can see that there's a similarity, but the pages don't match exactly. I like that my eye is kind of drawn through the layout, and I tied in the birds, the stamping in the background to do that. This didn't have anything in the bottom. This is the one from the blog hop, but I did tie in many of the elements in the bottom that you are my true north. And I love, there's texture, there's the embellishments, there's ribbon. I love that. You'll notice that this ribbon look, this paper banner look is continued, even though it's in a different application. That ties it together. I already mentioned the brads and this piece of flag that I created and the designer series paper. So I think that was it for these scrapbook pages. That was a hot mess there, but I know you love me. So do you guys want to see something else? I have some other surprises for you. So using this technique, I created a Stamp-A-Stack. And this was my original blog, or not blog, tutorial video this month. Let me do a 10-second tidy. Hold on to your shorts here, hang on. Okay, so this was the original post that I wanted to, or video that I wanted to do. But then I thought it was too easy because I wasn't really showing you much. So I dragged the Inkpad across. Ditto. Ditto. Then I decided to try some other colors. So this is exactly like that scrapbook layout that I just showed you. Then I did crumb cake, and this is Sahara sand and crumb cake or soft suede. Hang on. Soft suede knots and Sahara sand being drug across. I like that look. Then I did an Morocco rose with a pink sailboat, groovy. And then I did it in Calypso Coral, because Calypso Coral and Navy, you can never go wrong, especially nautical. So you'll notice that I chose a different stamp set for the greetings of these. I chose Itty Bitty Birthdays, great birthday stamp set to create 6 quick and easy cards. So you'll notice there's a background piece, a 3x3 white, and then I just staple the corner. But other than that, it's a little bit of stamping, spritzing, and dragging those ink pads across. This one was a little bit different, but I don't care. I like how that's organic. This one was darker on the top and dark down the side, but I really liked that. Which one's your favorite? You guys will have to comment. I'll post pictures of these, and then you'll have to tell me which one's your favorite. So you want more? I know you do. Okay, sorry, I had to reach over and get them. Now, as I was creating these projects, I always have what I call the cutting room floor. So pieces that I've cut or colored and they got rejected and they didn't quite make it into the final projects. So these rectangle pieces were from another project and I just picked them up and threw a bunch. These literally took like 3 minutes because I had a whole bunch of these pieces laying around. This was a reject from the scrapbook page, as was the anchor, but aren't they adorable? A little bit of washi. This is the washi that has the petals, the washi tape with the petals. Don't ask me what that's called. So these are bonuses. They're going to be on my blog on Thursday night. So you guys are the very, very first to get a sneak peek. Okay, and then this is also going on the blog, and I did this with my stamp clubs. You can see I have a couple of samples here. This is my 3D card. So it fits in a standard envelope, but it has a really neat fun fold, so it kind of opens like this, and then it stands. You can't see that very well. But then on the back side, you can write your little greeting and your love note to your loved one. Just a fun fold. I thought it was really cute. Different layout, different look. They're fun to play with. Neat to look at when they're sitting on the counter because they stand up so perfectly well. And then, like I said, those are the other two for Fancy Friday. I'm going to turn you around so you can see my smiling face. And I can chit chat with you one more time. Whoa, that's my hand in there. Apologize. Okay, so like I said, we have one more tutorial. Our guest is doing a bonus, so you won't want to miss that. I should know when it is. I feel like it's on Thursday or Friday night here in Mountain Time, Canada. But don't forget, if you go to the event on our Facebook group and click attend, you'll get a notification 1 week or 1 hour in advance. We also have put notice that the 3-month subscription, this is the last call because we take a break in December to be with our families. We will have a 3-month subscription again next year, but right now we want to get you crafting with us for the rest of 2019. So subscribe with us and get a 3-month subscription. Alternatively, you are welcome to shop with us. You can choose to shop with Cindy, Jen, Krista, or Cindy, Jen, Krista, or Susan. It's like my kids. I can never remember my kids' names. And last, you could join our team of demonstrators. There is a recruiting promotion with Stampin' Up! Right now where you get bonus freebies for buying the starter kit, and there's no tax or shipping on the starter kit. So it's a great time to be a demonstrator. You can shop at a discount. You always will be involved in the Crafty Carrot as long as you're an active demonstrator. So 3 amazing ways for you to join the fun and be with us. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. Don't forget, we're back in September with Daisy Lane, and I know we knocked your socks off with our blog hop where we did the 4 seasons. We already have our secret Crafty Carrot chat, the 4 of us ladies, and we are scheming and planning our tutorials for September, and they're awesome, I promise. If you have any questions or comments, please comment on our page, on this video, DM us, slide into our DMs, and we'll get back to you. Bye, guys.